This is Andy Parra for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Showtime Sonny Edwards. Sonny, how are you keeping?
Yeah, all good, all good.
It's good to hear. Obviously, we're only a matter of a few days away now. It's weird doing a press conference on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday, but only three days away from fight night. How are you feeling ahead of the Guarneros fight?
Yeah, I mean, as good as I can be. Weight's all good, camp's been good, uneventful. So yeah, I'm in a good place. Just looking forward to getting in there, getting the job done, and hopefully pushing on. Obviously, we don't look past any opponent. I prepared meticulously for this one. 2 titles on the line, so everything to play for. I'm just looking to get busy at flyweight now and sort of get stuck in and try and get closer to the world title shot.
Talk about your opponent first and foremost. What do you know about him? Might be a bit of an unknown quantity over these shores. So what do you know about him? What have you found out about him?
He's quite a typical Mexican. I haven't studied him too much. I don't really my opponents. He comes forward, he loads up, he works relentlessly for every round. He's got some good record wins on his record, and I think one of his losses came in his debut, and then won a split decision against an unbeaten kid or something. So, you can't read too much into it. I'll know in the first 3 rounds really what I'm up against. I have my scouting mission, try and just nick those rounds and stay one step ahead, and then look to take over from there.
Obviously, I know you've mentioned in the past, as your career's progressed, you find yourself further up the ladder with regards to where you are on fight night. Obviously, this time around you're headlining. How much more pressure does that add?
For me, it's no more pressure. It's just a different time slot that I'm fighting on. My first TV fight was also my first headline fight against Ryan Farag, and I felt like I took that in my stride. If anything, it just gives me that little bit more of a boost. I've got used to fighting in big arenas, small arenas now. I've had a good variety in my career. I've boxed in different countries. It's all different types of positions. So really it's just another thing I take in my stride. I've been boxing for 14 years, so there's not too much when it comes to the sort of controlled variables that will shock me. Obviously, we'll have to see what Guarneros brings on Saturday night, which I think will be a hard fight. My toughest fights in my career so far have been my other 2 Mexicans, Gallardo and Granados. So I'm expecting another hard night, but it's all experience for when I do push on to world level. Do you know what I mean?
So how, in your head, have you envisaged the fight kind of mapping out as the rounds play on?
Just same as last few times. Me just trying to keep him off me for 10 rounds, keep hitting him, not slow down. I've got a good engine. Have a couple of rounds where I mix it a little bit mid-rounds and then take it away again when all the rounds are bagged, and hopefully a wide scoreline. If not, it'd be nice to get a knockout every now and then, but I'm not the biggest puncher in the world, but I feel like my body of work is impressive enough that I don't need to look for no knockouts, to now I'm on this stage to have to sort of cement my place here. I think I'm getting to the point where now I'm a regular TV attraction on BT Sport, so it's just another step in the right direction and more experience, hopefully, like I said, to push on for the big, meaningful fights.
Now, you also mentioned towards the beginning of this interview the belts that are on the line. I've noticed as well recently you've been fighting for belts from different organisations. Many people would kind of just go down one organisation route to work towards that world title. What is your plans with regards to that?
I just like belts, to be honest. but it should get spoken about here today, but this is the first time I mentioned it. My fight's also been for the IBF International since it's been made. But the WBO have added their Intercontinental title, which is obviously the only WBO title short of a world title that I need. It completes my European, International, Intercontinental set. But yeah, it's good that both of them are sort of vying for me to be in their rankings. At super flyweight, I was ranked 4th with WBO, 13th for IBF. So it'll be interesting to see where I go from there, because really winning this fight, I should be at least the same, if not higher, at flyweight. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Look, I'm just waiting for my opportunity, for the phone to ring. I'm leaving everything to my management promoter. They probably have the plan. I don't even ask it, because all the time I'm asking for domestic fights, so probably won't get them, and then I'll end up fighting one of these world champions, which wouldn't be too bad. You know what I mean?
Let's just touch on the rest of his card as well. Brad Foster versus Lucian Reid, British and Commonwealth title fight. Your thoughts on that one?
I feel like it's a very good fight, good enough to headline the show. I think if I pulled out today, I think the show would still go ahead without no hiccups, and that would be the headline. And before the fight got announced, I didn't know that I was headlining, so you can see there's a stack lineup, and I'm just buzzing to be headlining. That shows the belief that BT have got on me. They get sent the card, they pick. But yeah, Brad Foster versus Lucian Reid's a very good fight. Obviously, I've known Lucian since the amateurs. I've never actually seen Brad Foster fight, but I was at the show he beat Joshua-Ruiz, but I left just before, and that was, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a shock, I guess, because it was, Joshua-Ruiz's show, his fans, his title and everything. So I think Reed's camp think they're in for a hard enough night, and I think Foster's are too. So that's one of those things.
Zach Chilly versus Cody Davies. I saw you speaking to Cody's manager down there, and he's just sat a few seats behind you, so I know you might want to pick your words carefully, but how do you see that one playing out?
Now, do you know what? That, for me, is the fight of the card, I think, personally. I think that's a great fight. A fight that, when it first got talked about however many months ago, I was excited for. To be on the same card as it's a bonus as well. And it's one of those things that I've known Cody since I was on GB days. I was quite close to Cody. And obviously since he's been pro. I didn't know Zach through GB. It was more, the national finals and the national championship kind of route. But they're both great fighters. I personally would edge towards Cody because I think he's a great fighter, and he was a great, strong athlete at cruiserweight as an amateur. So I don't know how he'll bring the power down. That's a 10-kilo jump. It's quite a lot. But Cody's a good friend of mine. I'd like to see him do well because I know he's been through a hard time as well. Outside the ring. So this would be a great step back. He's gone straight back in the deep end. So yeah, Cody's a good friend of mine. So I'd like to see him do it.
And finally, Shakan Peters versus Dex Bellman. Again, your thoughts?
Yeah, I've seen Dex fight because obviously he's quite Yorkshire-based. So I've seen him fight. When the tragic fight with Scott Westgarth, I actually watched that live. We were set on the Facebook stream watching that live. And he's very tough. He beat an old gym friend of mine, Kurt Garvey, in his last fight out. That's no easy do. So Shakan will have his hands full, but I do think talent-wise, Shakan is a good fighter. Come out of nowhere, win the Armour boxer, and he's flying now. So I guess I'd edge towards Shakan, but like I said, I haven't seen too much or too little of either of them. So it's a good fight.
Now, I just wanted to get your thoughts as well on your brother who's just started an interview beside you. His no contest fight with Julio Cesar Martinez on August 31st. Just talk through your reaction and the whole emotion surrounding that bout as everything progressed.
Well, yeah, it was obviously a crazy 10 minutes, see the stoppage, see the decision. I was walking to the change room and my manager grabbed me and went, they reversed the decision. I said, no, Conte turned around and it happened in the ring in front of me. It's speaking about it next time. It was obviously a saving grace. But, Charlie's still champion. Profile and career-wise is in as good place as he ever has been. If people choose to write him off, they can do it so that at their own peril. Do you know what I mean? These people thought when he lost to Casemiro, he would never come back, never be a world champion. We heard all of that. And then he built back, won well, defended well. So it's one of them things, you know what I mean?
Everybody mentioned with regards to his weight and trying to make it for fight night. In your own opinion now, do you see him sticking at flyweight or do you see him moving up to superfly?
I just want him to make their own decisions in his own career. I don't think whatever he chooses to do, I'll agree with him, I'll back him. There's a lot of pros, a lot of cons for whatever he does. But I've always said make your own decision in your career and then you'll have no regrets at the end. If you've made that decision, you can't in 10 years blame other people making the decision for you. I personally probably prefer him at super flyweight, but you know what I mean, if he's confident that he can alter a few things and make that weight a little bit, because it was only a little bit, do you know what I mean, he's drawn a little bit, but I don't think it had no effect in the ring. Do you know what I mean? He got caught with a shot, took a knee, and then the sort of the illegal shot that wiped everything out of him. There was no doubt in anyone's mind that when he went down, he wasn't going to get back up. He was 100% getting back up when he took a knee, 100%. So it's one of them things.
And finally, this weekend, Tyson Fury versus Otto-Wallin out in Vegas. I'm sure you'd rather have been on that undercard out there than here, but you are here, like I say. But Fury-Wallin, your thoughts on it?
Nah, man, we're headline attractions now, do you know what I mean? We'll get to Vegas one day, just not just yet.
Just make sure you take us with you.
Yeah. I'm taking Rob. Nah, I'm joking.
That's interview finished. Fury-Wallin, Sonny, your thoughts on it?
Let me be honest, it's a Fury show. Wallin's just an opponent for me coming over. It'll be more of a shock if Fury loses to him than it was Ruiz beating AJ. And that was a massive shock. So yeah, I think it'll just be the Fury show. Dance around him a few rounds, carry him on, and then take him out of there. I don't really know any of the other fights on the other card, so I can't really comment on that.
For you, in your opinion, what fight do you think's big game boxing? Joshua-Ruiz 2 or Wilder Fury 2?
More people are going to watch Ruiz, AJ, 100%. And we've had Wilder Fury, so I think if either of them fought AJ or even Ruiz, that would be a bigger fight than them two fighting again. But there's a lot of stuff still to be decided. That draw, controversial, some people thought it was. Got put down twice. The next time he gets caught, will he get back up? Do you know what I mean? There's so many unanswered questions. So it's a fight that everyone will still watch. The heavyweight boxing is firing at the moment, with or without Derek Chisora. But it's good. You know what I mean? It's good for, you know, top 10 in the world. If there's like 4, 5 maybe British heavyweights, you know, and there's a few very, very close. Do you know what I mean? With, you know, Dubois pushing on, Joe Joyce, obviously Del Boy. There's loads, you know what I mean? Dillian White. So, British heavyweight boxing is in a very, very, very good place at the moment.
You just mentioned Del Boy there. What was your thoughts on what he had to say at the press conference on Monday?
Do you know what? I've put a tweet out, and I personally don't think everything he was saying was wrong. And that was the first thing I said in that tweet. I said he is a big draw. It's in London, and he's a heavyweight in a big fight playing second fiddle. However, I personally would, if them fights are on the same card, Prograis Taylor should be the headline. If not, make it 2 different cards. You know what I mean? And they could have easily done that. And maybe he is right. I think so. And maybe doing that, he's got a lot more money. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think the show will still go ahead if he pulls out. You know what I mean? I'd probably get another high-profile fight on there. But I hear what you're saying, but I think it was very rude and disrespectful, to be honest. Saying about no one cares about any weight that's apart from heavyweight. It's like, if Chisora was, I don't know, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, AJ, even Ruiz, or even Dillian White, where they've beaten a lot of names, like, in at least controversial way possible, Derek Chisora has made his name and career being a decent opponent. Do you know what I mean? He's lost, 9 times? He's every top skim fighter he's lost to. Obviously he's got some good wins. Arthur Spilscar was a great win. I was there. I'm very impressed actually that fight. But for me it just didn't need to go on like that. And I'm surprised that Prograis and Taylor didn't sort of have more of something to say on that. I think they're more just focused on their car, but I don't know what happened there. It's not really needed. Like, do all your you know, you're clowning that, but and even say what you wanted to say. Because I won't disagree. It's when he started basically saying to Prograis, "Shut up, or I'll squash you," or whatever he said. It's just like, there's no need for that, especially when that bloke sat 2 seats to him is a world champion, undefeated, with number 1 ranked in the world. It's like, Chisora has been none of them things. I don't care if he's heavyweight, he's not been any of those things. So there it is what it is. But everyone's talking about that fight now. Everyone's more talking about the card. So really, Eddie should get his checkbook out and give him a bit more money, because I think that press conference, I sat and watched the whole half an hour of it. And how often do I do that? Very, very, very rarely. Do you know what I mean? So.
Well, finally, Sonny, your last words ahead of Saturday night.
Yeah, just looking forward to, you know, headlining on BT for the first time, my second headline TV show. Just want to thank, you know, everyone coming out. Tickets have been a nightmare for this. I sold out all my allocation within, I think, 6 days. I asked for more 6 weeks before the fight. I only got more like this week. So the show sold well. All the other fighters, you know, have sold well. So it should be ram-packed in there. Like they're saying, this is probably the best Your Call card they've put on, Frank Warren have said. So yeah, I mean, it's good to be on top of that when they're getting so much praise. And there's not been too much negativity on the card as well, do you know what I mean? So looking more positive than negative. So I'm looking for a good night of boxing. Hopefully I come out looking like I do now and talking like I do now, and then we'll be all good, and then ready to push on for hopefully a big finish. Because don't get me wrong, these are hard tests, but they're not the fights that get me out of bed. These aren't the fights that I'm in boxing for. Do you know what I mean? I want things that people really take notice. But I know for a fact this Guarneros is coming to take my head off. Do you know what I mean? He's been giving me stick on Twitter in Spanish for the last 4 weeks. I can't really reply. I just keep saying good luck, have a safe journey. But yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Sonny Edwards, I appreciate your time as always. Thanks for speaking to myself on Boxing Social.
No, thanks for having me on.